Hi divas, welcome back. I'm posting this video, I'm filming it early. Once this video is posted, it should be on September 11th, which, yes, 9/11, but that's my birthday. My birthday is in fact 9/11. People either think it's really funny, or they get really mad at me for some reason as if it was my fucking fault I was born on 9/11. Not in 2001 though, not in 2001. This video is going to be about the things that I learned while I was 28. I'm 29 today. I think that this was a year that was all over the place. My last birthday, I spent a lot of it crying and feeling very weird. I had like a really good birthday trip with my best friend and stuff. Like I did something nice for my birthday, but I felt really weird energetically and emotionally, as many bad bitches do. Also, happy Virgo season. We love Virgo season. Yeah, let me just get right into it. I wrote it down. The first thing I learned from being 28 was to allow myself to believe in my dreams. I remember when I was younger, like all the motivational posters in your classrooms would be like, aim for the moon, even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. And I always thought that's so corny, who gives a fuck? And as I've gotten older, I've been like, wait, that's actually true though, because yeah, you need to dream big, and that's one thing I learned how to do. I was always afraid to kind of admit to myself what I wanted, because I felt like once I admitted it, that meant I either had to work for it, do everything in my power to make it happen, and if it didn't happen, I was going to be devastated and super disappointed. I had to finally admit to myself, you know what you want in this life, and you know what you're not going to settle for and what you don't want, and it's time to start actually trying to make that happen. With that, it comes with allowing myself to be delusional about it. When you have big dreams and big goals in life, you know that if you had them written out for everyone else to see or whatever, you're worried about oh, she's delusional, she's crazy, she's never gonna get any of that, but that's sweet that you want that. And I had to mentally push through that and just be like, I do not give a fuck if I sound delusional. I know what I want. I'm a manifesting girly, so I know that I can get what I want. It's just a matter of first admitting it to myself and allowing myself to believe. The second thing I learned at 28 was how to limit my social media usage. I, as many others my age and younger, obviously, grew up on social media. And one of the big things I did this year was I deactivated my Twitter account, which sounds so silly as a big step for me, but that was my main social media platform, or the app I used the most. I had my account since I was 15. This literally does not bring me joy. All I do is doom scroll. All I do is want to complain about stuff or other people. And I hated knowing that that was an outlet for me to be negative, which I think is what Twitter has basically evolved into now. I was nervous to open the app, but I was nervous about not looking at what everyone else was saying. So taking that first step to delete it and not go back to it, because I think I deleted it in March or April, sometime in spring. It was really fucking good for me. I feel so much better energetically. It makes me want to focus on creating more versus consuming, which is a problem I still have with TikTok, endless scrolling before bed, but one thing at a time. The important thing is I know now that I can remove myself from social media or platforms or whatever it is. Once I clock that I'm not having a good time, I'm allowed to pull back from that. That's what I did. And it's a hard thing to learn when, you're so used to it. It's a part of your everyday reality. But once you start doing it, it feels so good. Third thing I learned at 28 was creating a routine that works for me, and I hold myself accountable to be responsible for following through on it, which I feel like is something that, they teach you in school growing up, especially middle elementary school, to prepare you for college. But once you're out of the educational mindset where you don't have people setting your schedule and your routines for you, it's very easy to fall into bed rotting, and true bed rotting, not the aesthetic bed rotting. And I felt like I was sleepwalking throughout my life, and this was a year I finally was you need to try to get some things in gear. So between self-care routines, forcing myself to work on my creative projects, and doing my morning pages, those were all things that I learned how to cultivate for myself to make sure that I fucking do it, but also make it easy for me to do it. Because a lot of routines is trying to force yourself to do things in a way that isn't natural to you, and sometimes you can't avoid it. But for me, I'm such a night owl. The more I force myself to try to do things early on in the day, I could do that one day per week and feel good about it, but doing it every day just makes me feel so tired and drained, and then I end up taking a nap later on in the day day and feeling like I waste my day and I'm up at all night, and then the next day I can't wake up early. So following my body's natural rhythm and learning when to do routines and how to do them to get everything I want accomplished, that was really big for me. And being kind to yourself about it as well, that's really, really important. The fourth thing I learned how to follow the flow of life and trust where my path takes me. This was something that I learned with doing the artist way, which I did a video on that. When I believe in myself and my goals, that keeps me aligned on my path. And as a Virgo, a triple Virgo, mind you, I very much struggle with not having control over my life. Literally when I was 16, when I had to go see like therapists and psychologists for anxiety, I couldn't even be in school anymore because I was so fucking anxious. One of the problems that they were trying to talk to me about was that I try to control everything, and even like my family, everyone around me. When you have anxiety, the only thing that will make you feel better is being able to control the situation as much as possible, because a lot of anxiety is focused on things being uncontrollable. Can't control the environment or other people. Knowing that like, okay, I cannot control everything in my life. Obviously, I can't control if I really want this job or like this opportunity to work out for me. Learning how to slowly let go of that control and just following the flow of where my path takes me. And especially with what I said in the first point, admitting to myself and believing in myself and my goals and my dreams. When you're always in that mindset of believing in yourself and knowing what you want, the universe will guide you to where you need to be, but you just have to let it guide you and know what you want and continue to do what you can to go after it, and then just follow the flow and things will fall into place much more easily. The things that I want, I am persistent in going after it, whatever it may be. If I want it, I want it, and I am intense and passionate. And I think that's a good thing to have because I don't like to give up. I don't like to quit. I also trust that I'll get to where I need to be, just maybe not in the way that I was trying to control. And lastly, I learned that everything has a purpose, everything has a meaning. And instead of taking that as something that's very fucking terrifying, choosing to take it as a comfort. Whenever something bad happens in your life and someone says like everything happens for a reason, like this has a purpose, when you hear that, you're like, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't want to hear that. This shouldn't have happened. Again, like if you applied for a job you really wanted and then it ends up not working out and you were kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket with that and you're like, fuck, like I really wanted that. Now I don't know what I'm gonna do. I take that as that didn't work out for a reason, and something better is coming. And I've been shown many examples of this throughout my life this year. A silly one was like that shirt that I wanted from Orson Iris. I tried to buy it, they didn't let me, and I was disappointed about that. And then I was able to buy it a month later and it was much cheaper. So things like that, you'll get redirected to where you want to be. Just know that like there is usually a purpose for the way something unfolded, and that doesn't mean to give up. That just means you have something new to navigate. I really like the quote, everything happens for me, not to me, and that's become a huge comfort for me and something I remind myself every time I'm upset or rejected or lonely or like things just aren't working out for me, out of control. I just always have to remember that things will turn around in your favor. But yeah, those were the things I learned. Overall, I would say it was a good year. A lot of good and bad things happened, but I feel really good about the person I am. I feel like this was a year of huge growth for me, both mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and I feel like I'm really setting a foundation for my future self. And how beautiful is it to like believe in a future for yourself? When I was younger, I didn't think I'd make it past high school. I thought I would before then. And then the same with college. To be 29 is really beautiful, and yeah, I'm excited to see what this year has in store for me. So I hope you divas liked this video. I hope you are having a beautiful Virgo season. Enjoy the Virgos in your life. Okay, I love you divas. I hope you have a beautiful day and I will see you next time. Bye!